Right, good morning everybody. It is the 20th of January 2020 and welcome to our first in the series of conversations with Abdullah. I enjoy talking with Abdullah about the head teacher assembly because obviously every weekend I plan the head teacher assembly and then I want to see have children learnt anything in the head teacher assembly, and Abdullah is a great listener. He's also a great CC learner. That's something else we can talk about as we go along. And today, we're just going to talk about today's Head Teacher Assembly, but then hopefully in the future we'll do more conversations with Abdullah and we'll talk about all our other Head Teacher Assemblies as well, because you've been in other of the Grange YouTube videos as well. In fact, Abdullah was one of the first Grange YouTube Club members. So, today, what was the Head Teacher Assembly about today, Abdullah?
Leadership.
Leadership. Okay, now, remember in the assembly I was saying to people, what does leadership mean? And can you remember some kind of answers that people said about what is leadership?
Basically, you can do whatever you want and you can be the leader of yourself.
Okay, so now you have jumped straight through to what we spoke about in assembly and what I wanted children to get. But when people first think about leadership, they think about leading others. Do you remember all the people who were suggesting in the assembly? They were talking about if somebody's left out, then I can include them and I can say to my friends, let's involve them. You know, leaders are people who make change, who help other people. Do you remember all those answers were coming in the assembly? There were some beautiful ones, I think, about making good choices. And then I said, I'd read a book, you remember, and I showed a picture of the book. Actually, should we mention the book? Should we mention that book? It was a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and I said I'd read it about 15 or 20 years ago, maybe not 20, maybe about 15 years ago, and I said there was a special message in there. And before I told the message, remember we were doing some quotes from Rumi. So let's do the one quote from Rumi, and then you can say what you think it means. Rumi said, and Rumi, we said about 700 years ago, he was a Persian Afghani poet, and he taught lots of lessons about trying to be good in life and live a life of love. And Rumi said, you're born with wings, so why do you want to crawl through life? He said, you're born with wings, why do you want to crawl through life? And what do you think that means?
Because you're the leader of yourself. You can do what thing you want, but only for you.
So that was interesting. You said only for you. So like wings is like flying, doing great things rather than just crawling through life. You make good choices, good decisions for yourself. So you said only you can do that for yourself. So we did another Rumi quote. Remember we said it's your road and your road alone. We said people can walk with you, but nobody can walk your path for you. And what did that mean?
That means that you can make your choices for the things you have.
So that was the big lesson from this head teacher assembly. I mean, that's what I was trying to get across, is that people think, okay, I'm Mr. Head Teacher, so I'm the leader of the school. That's how people think, because I've got staff teachers and I've got educators and people working. And the point is, it's not about how many people follow you or how many people you lead. To be a leader is to be a leader of yourself. And if you are a leader of yourself, what are you doing?
You're making your own choices.
You are making choices. And we said in our school it's all about making choices. So what did we say this means?
The CC way.
So and what does a CC way?
Confidence and consideration.
And that's leadership. You make choices for yourself. You don't just wait for life to just do things to you. You decide, even your attitude, how you're going to be in life. What are you going to be positive? Are you going to be negative? Are you going to try your hardest? Are you going to do your best? And then we played a game, you remember, we said, sometimes, now this is an interesting one, because sometimes teacher, maybe the children aren't ready to learn yet, and everybody's talking. And then sometimes you want to settle down and you want to start learning. And sometimes the way to do it, you say to somebody, shh, shh, teacher's waiting. But what could you do instead if you are a leader of yourself?
You can Just put your finger on your lips or in like quiet now and then. Just look at the teacher so we can do what you want to do.
So you make your choice. So actually that's what we talked about, is leadership sometimes is not telling other people what to do, it's doing the right thing for yourself. And then when people see you, they follow, because they kind of go, okay, I've got a model, I've got an example of how to behave well. So if you want to be a leader, the first thing is to be a leader of yourself, and then to try and make good choices and live your way. But now, can you remember the Grange CC learner, what we said? What is a CC learner? So the first thing that a CC learner has to do is what?
Be curious.
So you are going to the considerate part of CC learning. Right, be curious is a brilliant one. Be curious. What else do you have to do?
And listen well.
Listen well, yes. What do you have to be brave about?
Not making mistakes.
You have to be brave that you're not scared to make mistakes, because we all make mistakes. But then what do you do with those mistakes?
You put them in your head so you can learn from them.
You learn from your mistakes. And then what did we say was the most important thing? We never ever. So we have a go. We're not afraid to make mistakes.
We never give up.
We never give up. We learn from our mistakes and we never give up.
Be
And that's a CC learner, because even if you're a leader and you make a choice and then sometimes afterwards you realize, oh, I didn't do the right thing. So you say, okay, well, what can I learn from that? How can I fix up my mistake and what can I learn from it? And then you don't give up, you keep going. We're all human beings. So that was the leadership today. So what do you think we should talk about in our next conversations with Abdullah? The Grange pupil. What do you think we should talk about next? What did we say we started today on Mondays? Do you remember? CC?
Had teacher assembly.
Yeah, but what did we start? We started something today. In register, I told the teachers. I said CC.
Talking.
I'll keep going because we never give up. Do you remember SI?
Yeah, it's social intelligence.
Exactly. Okay, so CCSI, Mondays. Okay, should we talk about that next week? Let's talk about CCSI, Mondays, and what that is at Grange. Okay, Abdullah, it's been excellent talking with you.